night, but
Yeah, not very.
I mean, I think some
other panels they hear him speak and they're like, he's so gross, I wouldn't have sex with him. It's like, that's not the question.
It can be, but like I see both sides of it. It can just be a fun act, right? Like if you have a partner that you connect with on every other level in your life, naturally your sexual connection is probably going to click if you have good chemistry and a good connection outside of it. But I also think that being with someone who you might not have that connection with, if you guys just have sexual chemistry, like sexual chemistry can exist without an emotional connection. And it can be an act that is emotion removed, fun for both parties. But is it more?
I can't do that.
Or for financial gain. And it's not
Haram.
for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like everyone should feel that way and everyone should believe in that. But it can be a thing.
But your brain still releases all those like oxytocin, all those bonding hormones that like whether or not you have feelings for the person going into it and whether you are not after, like your brain is still, this is why porn is so fucked up, because like you're watching a two-dimensional two other people and you're having oxytocin release, and like people get addicted to weird shit. There are guys that are like weird about barns because they would do all their shit in barns.
I've
This
heard
is
some weird shit.
Yes. So like you don't control that whether or not the biological functions of getting off happen or not, whether or not you're attached.
Right. And
the
but
person.
it could be two people that have no intention of being together long term that just want that fun. Like some people can separate pleasure and emotion. And the people that can separate the two, it could be a very rare case. I'm not saying that everybody has this ability, but someone that can separate emotional connection and pleasure has the ability to sleep with someone solely for pleasure.
I don't think.
Do you think
I don't
that-
think anyone actually has that ability. And I know that there's people that can have casual sex without getting their emotions involved. I know that that's a thing. I've had plenty of friends that do that. Mm-hmm. But I think this idea that you can just have casual sex for fun and that there's no ramifications to it, I think that's a lie.
I'm not saying there's no ramifications
Or consequences or anything
I'm
like that.
not saying there's no consequence. Obviously, you can have
on an emotional level. Because
I
to
don't
her
agree with
point, the thing about the brain hormones, right, like oxytocin, all this kind of stuff, I think that the more casual sex that a person has with somebody, the more it blunts their oxytocin response. Mm-hmm. And over time, this decreases their ability to pair bond effectively with other people. This is why a lot of data shows the higher the number of premarital sexual partners that somebody's had, their odds of getting divorced correlate directly with it, right? If somebody's had more than 10 premarital sexual partners, they have over a 50% chance of getting divorced, right? And so like, you know, people, they like to talk about how casual sex, it's like this thing that like, you know, it's just fun, it's whatever. But the reality is that it's having, look at the divorce statistics that we've been talking about all show long. Divorce rates are super high. And it's because this whole casual sex Pandora's box has been opened. And now, as a result, we have broken families and broken homes all throughout the world because so many people are getting divorced. And that is, in part, a byproduct of two things: casual sex and pornography. Actually, a third thing as well, people walking away from faith. But the point being, I don't think casual sex is casual at all. I would disagree that I don't think it can be divorced from emotion. I think it's intimately tied to emotions.
I think if someone is emotionally detached, like someone can be emotionally detached to a specific person, like
I think if somebody gets to that point where they're emotionally detached from having sex with another person, the odds of them getting a divorce later on are probably extremely high.
I don't agree. You can have an emotional connection with someone, and the sex that you have with that person that you have an emotional connection with, because your chemistry is so strong with that person in every other aspect of your life, you have that emotional connection, emotional bond, and you have the ability to have a different type of sex with that person. But then you could go have sex with someone else and it's fun. And I'm not saying every single person in this world, I don't have statistics, of course, but there's probably a very select few people that have that ability. But I do believe that there are, like, that's polyamorous situations. You can be married, but then also go have casual sex with other people, but still have a emotional, strong connection with one physical person.
So, but then I would argue that the individuals who are able to do that, like completely detach emotionally in those encounters, whether they're married or not, or just casual sex, there's something else happening where they're completely detaching like in their own mind from their emotions. There's some weird detachment shit happening internally.
Absolutely. It's very situational. I mean, not everyone has the ability to.
I'm saying
do
that's
it.
probably not a necessarily healthy thing. If like, because sex is meant to be is like we've all kind of agreed that ideally sex is intimate. It's with someone you care about. It's emotional. It's bonding. All these things that it was created for. If someone is able to like switch that off, like there's something else happening where they're just like detaching.
Okay, we gotta move on, guys. So.